A very good evening to all our viewers. I'm Shivani Srivastav, Relationships Manager at Global Education and Training Institute. I welcome you all this evening to a very wonderful session with Ms. Alpa Shah, who is the founder of Empire Education in Mumbai. She is not just the founder of this wonderful institute, this wonderful foundation, but she is also a social entrepreneur, an author, a keynote speaker, and a finance professional with a varied experience of 25 years in the field of finance. She has worked for corporates including Tata and SBI Group. She wanted to empower everyone on financial literacy with the experience that she has, and hence she founded Empower Education to enhance common man's knowledge on personal finance. So, today she will be speaking on Transcend the way you relate to money. I once again welcome ma'am to our platform. Over to you, ma'am.
Thank you, GETI Talks and Shivani, for inviting me. The word empower means what? Transcend the way you relate to money and maximize your potential for wealth, joy, and fulfillment. Your mind constructs money, whether you feel rich or not, has to do with your mind. You can have 100 in your bank account and feel like the richest guy or a girl. How rich you feel comes down to your internal programming. If you practice being grateful, then you will find yourself believing that you are already rich. You can have all the money in this world has to offer and still feel poor. Be careful what the world tells you about money. You get to decide the difference between rich versus poor. The money you have in your bank account doesn't answer this question for you. And don't be sure that more money you have, more happiness you can buy. More money you have, more joy you can get. Or less money you have, you will have a lot of stress. I don't think so. Finally, it depends on you. The dumb thing was that money started to find its way into our life without we focusing on it. What should we do? How should we do? Start discussions sooner rather than later. Talk about family finances before a milestone or a tragedy. A graduation or wedding can be a positive time for a discussion. Determine goals and priorities, set an agenda to help keep everyone focused. Be realistic about what you can achieve in each session and plan for complex topics to take a few meetings. Keep communication open, encourage everyone to speak up, be frank, stay open minded, and keep past conflicts out of the talks. Honest financial conversations can help everyone avoid misunderstandings that could ripple through the family. Your relationships also can become stronger if you start talking about finances in a very healthy way. Talk less, listen more. Your family can boost its chances of productive conversation when everyone listens actively, seeks to understand, and respectfully acknowledges others' point of view, especially in finances and money management. Share where important documents are located. Family members should know where to find key elements of their estate plans. Example, a will, trust, beneficiaries, power of attorney, healthcare directive, and how to access online accounts. For example, user IDs and passwords, etc. In many cases, wives or women of the house, they don't know so many things what husband does. Work with your advisor. Your advisor can help guide the conversations. He or she is your mentor. Please be very frank to them, like how you are talking frankly with your doctors. Take the time to understand what's truly important to everyone and provide it personalized advice based on your family's goals and needs. Well, I have dedicated my entire life for the nation building through financial literacy. And when I talk about nation building, financial empowerment, women and youth are a very integral part of that. I would love to empower women. I would love to educate youth because financial planning or money management is not spoken, discussed, or even taught in the school or colleges. So it's a life skill which everyone needs to learn on their own. Well, parents also play very important role as far as money management skills are concerned in their children. So I love to empower parents, especially mothers, because when you empower a woman, the whole family gets empowered, the whole generation gets empowered. Children automatically learn so much from their mother, and all the values, all the learning, especially about your money and family values, also to a great extent, a woman of the house em- imparts that in the children. Well, so parents, upliftment, empowering parents is also a very important portion of my work, and I love to do that. At the same time, corporate employees, people who are getting retired, everyone needs the basic understanding about financial planning. Well, my NGO Freedom Foundation works towards the upliftment of lower strata income group people. Well, can you imagine our life without the support function? Our maids, drivers, cooks, our security guards, sweepers. I mean, I can't imagine my life without them. So it is our duty to empower and encourage them to lead a very good life with the help of money management for this audience too. Well, basically, when you empower youth, women, lower strata income group people, corporate employees, and the people who are getting retired, you have covered almost all. When I talk about women, even the homemaker needs to be taught how she can handle money. So, first and foremost, I would love to explain you why goal-based financial planning is a very integral part of our life. Most of the time when I meet people, they kind of are not very clear about what they want to achieve in their life. So, first and foremost, you have to be very, very focused and clear that what exactly is the happiness for you, what exactly is the joy for you. According to me, money can't buy you happiness directly, but money also gives you lot many opportunities to give joy and happiness to others who are surrounded by you. So, in a way, it's the medium which helps you in so many things. Finally, it helps in leading good life for yourself and for others too. And for that, we have to respect our own hard-earned money. The way we respect our body, the way we think 10 times before eating wrong things or wrong food, the same way before spending even 1 rupee which is not required. You must think 10 times because finally you are decreasing your wealth by spending that money, which is not so much required as of today. So, a clear understanding between needs and wants is very important. You must learn how to do budgeting. So, budgeting teaches you what kind of profit and loss account, balance sheet, and net worth you should be knowing, and you should be preparing for yourself. So profit and loss account is, for example, you are earning some salary per month. So what kind of expenses you have and what kind of income you have. Balance sheet is, for example, if you are working from last 10 years, so what kind of assets you have created and what kind of liabilities you have created. And net worth is your assets minus liability. And I would suggest you ensure that it is positive and not negative. Well, the simple rule which I would like to suggest everyone here, how much to invest and how much to spend. Most of the time people are not clear that how much I can spend and how much I should invest. So there is a very simple formula which we explain: 30, 30, 40, 50, and 50, 100. So when you are 30 years old, you should try and invest 30% of what you earn. For example, if you are earning, say, 1 lakh rupees a year, and if you are 30 years old, you can invest 30%. I mean, you should invest rather than can. So 30,000 rupees you should invest and 70,000 rupees you should spend. Again, you should have a very clear understanding of needs and wants. So 50, 30, and 20 rule also works. 50% is where you should spend your money on your needs, on your basic requirements. 30% is your wants, your enjoyment, your pleasure. And 20% is your investments. You must invest from the day one you start earning. I would suggest, even to the youth or even to the students, from your pocket money you should start investing, because the habits which you will cultivate will really work wonderfully well for the throughout your life. It's all about starting early. It's all about having correct habits in your life. It's all about being serious, focused, and giving respect to your family's hard earned money. So, what if you've just got the pocket money? It's not easy money. Your parents have worked so hard to earn that money. And you also should respect that hard earned money and ensure that that money gives you a lot of joy over a period of time. Don't get caught up into small materialistic things all the time. I'm not saying that they don't give you joy. Of course, it is very joyful and you must enjoy your life. But certain portion you must invest for your medium to long term goals also. And respect that hard earned money of your parents and cultivate certain habits which will help you throughout. So we discussed how much to invest, right? So 30, 30, 40, 50, and 50, 100. So when you're 40 years old, you should invest 50% of what you earn. And when you're 50 years old, you can invest entire 100%. Because the earlier 20 years which you invested in a very disciplined way will give you another layer of income by way of returns on your investments. And that is how you, even if you don't touch your salary for the last 10 years before retirement, which is from 50 to 60, and you will retire super rich and you will get a lot of money at the time of your retirement because of the last 10 years you have not touched your salary and you have invested fully. So this is how 30, 30, 40, 50, and 50, 100 works wonderfully well for you. And also don't forget 50, 30, and 20 rule which I taught you. Remember, passive income is really important. Passive income is the income which you get without doing much of the efforts repeatedly. You put in that smart work, hard work once, and then repeatedly you get certain amount back by way of returns on your investments. That is what is passive income. Well, I have written a book. Every month from CNBC, my publisher, I get royalty on the books which are sold. So that's what is passive income for me. If I have put my house on rent or my shop on rent, my office on rent, the rental income is the passive income for me. If I've invested my money into shares, stocks, the returns, the dividends which I get on the stocks is my passive income. Also the capital appreciation, etc., which I get in from the real estate or from stocks, are also a very big source of income for me over a period of long term. So this is how one must understand how passive income can make you super rich faster, isn't it? One salary or one source of income may not be sufficient all the time. For example, if wife is also working at home, surely the family prospers faster, right? Because when one person earns and when two people earn, definitely the money earned is more and the family gets the prosperity faster. The same way passive income works wonderfully well for you. Only salary will not work. Well, why we should do goal based financial planning is that we have to beat inflation also. So, inflation is a very, very important aspect which we all should understand. Usually, we all don't realize it's like we can't see it. So, and it's like a monster who's eating up all our money and we are not aware. Well, inflation actually decreases your purchasing power. So today's 100 rupees looks like 95 rupees next year, and maybe it will be 40 rupees after 10 years. It will just give you a purchasing power of 40 rupees. So beating inflation is a very, very important aspect, and that's the rule number one if you want to win the game of financial planning and money management. Ensure that you invest your money in certain products wherein you can definitely beat inflation over a period of medium to long term, and your 100 rupees doesn't look like 40 but looks like 120 after 10 years. Also, you should do your goal based financial planning for various other reasons like your retirement planning, your midlife planning, your dreams, goals, passion, social work, charity, children planning. So many reasons are there. And for that, you should do your goal based financial planning properly. Well, I worked for close to 25 years in corporate. And then in my midlife, I started my own entrepreneurship. I wanted to chase my passion of empowering people, nation building, writing books, doing social work. I could do all these things only because I was financially free. If you are truly financially freedom you are achieving, then only you can achieve your dreams and goals and passion at various stages of your life. So now you understood how important it is. Well, after understanding inflation and after understanding so many reasons and we have to do our financial planning well, one more thing I would like to mention here, that women live longer than men and they are usually younger than their spouses. So there is a full probability that they will outlive their husbands and they also will have to have complete control over their health and their wealth. So there is something called 30-30 challenge also which we all face. We all work for 30 years, which is from 25 to 55. We are highly productive, we are young, we are getting salary every month, and there is no medical issue also. But there is another 30 years of our retirement stage. What if we live up to 85? So 55 to 85, another 30 years. And because of inflation and standard of living, we will need lot of money. So when we retire, we should have enough money so that our dignity, self-respect and self-confidence is always intact. And we are not dependent on anyone for those years and for money. So look after your health and look after your wealth, and that is what is true wellness all about. We discussed about how much to invest, why to invest. The next thing which comes in my mind is where to invest and how to invest. So, like how we eat healthy for our healthy body, how we eat balanced diet, the same way we should also follow certain asset allocation. We cannot invest all our money into one product, how much ever We like that product or we are emotional towards that product. I would highly recommend each one of you to follow proper asset allocation, diversification. You must have heard about one proverb that never put all eggs in one basket. The same way, never invest your entire money into just one asset class. I love to buy jewelry, I love gold. You cannot invest your entire money in gold. I love real estate. I cannot think any other asset class. But real estate is not that liquid. Don't forget that there is a high liquidity risk when you invest your money in real estate. So please divide your money into 3, 4 different asset classes, and proper diversification will surely help you in giving you money at various stages. And at any point of time, you can liquidate if you want. So always remember that there are 3, 4 types of risk involved when you invest your money. So there is a credit risk, there is also a market risk, and there is a liquidity risk. You must understand what kind of liquidity risk you have. Imagine you have invested your money, and in case of emergency, you are not able to take that money. You are going to get that money only after 10 years. What kind of financial planning is this? Not good. So always remember, when you invest your hard earned money, the liquidity risk is what you should always manage properly. And calculated risk is always allowed. Don't be fearful and don't be greedy. Take decisions, invest your money rightly, properly, and take calculated risk. When you take calculated risk, definitely it will help and it will perform. And out of, say, 10, maybe 1 or 2 calls will not work for you, but the other 8 calls which you have taken with the help of calculated risk will surely give you a lot of returns, and that is what you should aim for. So we discussed about asset allocation, right? Diversification. Now there is a simple formula about asset allocation. So usually it's not necessary that it will work for all. But even if you follow this much, I think it's good. So 100 minus age is something which you should follow as far as your asset allocation is concerned. So if you're 30 years old and if you have to invest 100 rupees, 100 minus 30 is equal to 70. Now, over here, I would like to mention that 70% or 70 rupees you should invest in your wealth creation basket, and 30 rupees can go in your other 2 baskets, which is your tax planning and protection planning. Now, let me explain you quickly what are these 3 baskets and why we all should definitely invest properly in these baskets. So no product is good or no product is bad. All products have their own features, advantages, and disadvantages. So once you understand and once you fit it properly at the place where you will get the maximum benefit, I think it will work wonderfully well for you. So remember which particular product suits you, fits your goal and dream, and when do you want your money back? How good is that product in liquidity will decide that how rich and how happy you will be after those investments. So over here, let me quickly explain you how these 3 baskets works for you. So tax planning basket is something wherein you should aim for tax benefits. If you want to save tax, what kind of investments, products you should look at. So over here, I would suggest that you should consider PPF, Public Provident Fund, under Section 80C, or ELSS, Equity Linked Savings Scheme, or you can invest your money in NPS, additional 50,000 rupees in NPS and create pension for you after retirement, or you can show your housing loan and save tax and avail tax exemption also. The protection planning which we are discussing here is nothing but you have to protect yourself and you have to protect your near and dear ones. So I would highly recommend each one of you to take term insurance wherein very less premium and very huge coverage. But over here, no greed, no returns. You should only think about the protection of your near and dear ones, especially those who are dependents on you, and ensure that you nominate them properly and they exactly know what kind of term insurance you have done, so that if in case god forbid something happens to you, they can surely know how and from where to get that money from. So term insurance I highly recommend. After that, you should do your mediclaim, critical illness mediclaim separately, because when you do your mediclaim doesn't necessarily mean that all the critical illnesses are also covered. So I highly recommend that critical illness you should take it separately. In our country, there is no social security, there is no medical free. So all the more important for us to pay full attention on protection planning and do something better. And remember one thing, almost 60% of the death or hospitalization is happening because of critical illness, and mediclaim not necessarily covers all the critical illnesses. So ensure that you have adequate critical illness done for yourself and for your family members too. After that, I would also suggest you to go for cancer specific mediclaim. India is the fastest growing country, unfortunately, as far as cancer is concerned. And cancer is not just of 5, 7, 10 types, but 100 types of cancers are there. So if you take cancer specific mediclaim separately, you will get the proper medical treatment. And cancer is highly expensive disease. Let me tell you, cancer is 100% curable if you detect it early and if you get the proper medical treatment timely. So, for that, cancer specific mediclaim is very, very important for all of you to go ahead and do it. And in women, most of the cancer comes in the age group of 44 to 58. So please ensure that you have adequate cancer specific mediclaim for yourself. You deserve to get the best treatment, God forbidden if it happens to you. Lastly, you should also do all your non life insurance, like your house, car, any valuables if you wish to insure. Please go ahead and do that. Nominate your family members perfectly and share with them what kind of investments and protection planning you have done. Lastly, succession planning and will drafting is a very, very important aspect of your holistic goal based financial planning. Don't forget to draft your will and share it with your spouses, parents, children, whoever you wish to, so that they can definitely do the needful after you leave this world. So it's not only about earning a lot of money, it's not only about saving that money, it's not only about your spending habits, it's not only about growing that money, it's not only about investing that money, but it's also about distributing that wealth and money properly after you leave this world. And money is not just to buy materialistic things, but money is to spread happiness, money is to enjoy the life fully, money is to help others also. And for that reason, start thinking, be very serious about your financial planning and especially goal based financial planning. The third basket which I would like to discuss is the wealth creation basket. Now you tell me why we all should create wealth creation basket. Mainly to achieve your dreams and goals, your retirement planning, your children planning, your midlife planning, your charity, social work, etc. So please don't forget to maintain this basket. And mainly, I would highly recommend that start doing your SIPs, mutual fund investments, equity investments, and create wealth for yourself in medium to long term. Ensure that you are absolutely bang on what kind of money you will require, inflation adjusted at various stages of your life. That math and that calculation you must learn, and it's very easy. So, backward calculation, which futuristic inflation adjusted money which you'll require at various stages of your life is very, very important for you to master it. And that is how you can do proper financial planning. So every youth should invest, every woman should invest, every corporate employees should know how to do tax planning, how to do protection planning. Every married person should know how to protect their family and themselves. And every retire person, I mean every senior citizen should know how to create pension, how to live completely peaceful life after retirement and enjoy that money, and at the same time you are not dependent on anyone. And when you leave this world you should give lot of money rather than take money from anyone till you are alive. So for everyone, the lessons which I'm giving you is so, so, so important, isn't it? And even for the students, children, it's so important that respect for money, power of compounding is so important. Starting early is a very, very important aspect which every youth should know. So let me explain you what is power of compounding. Power of compounding, as Albert Einstein says, it's the eighth wonder of the world, and I completely agree with him. If you start investing your money 5 years late, just 5 years late, then you are half rich at the time of retirement. So, for example, you there are two friends. Okay, friend A has started investing early, and he invested say 1000 rupees for 30 years. And friend B, he started his investment late. He started investing 5 years late than A, and he invested his money for 25 years. Now we all know that we all are going to work for 30 years, right? So the friend A who invested for 30 years, from the day one he started getting his salary, right? He If he invested 1000 rupees, and if he got say 15% type of a CAGR return in any large cap equity mutual fund scheme by way of systematic investment plan, say SIP, he did his SIP, he could reach up to almost 60 lakhs rupees. And friend B, unfortunately, he started just 5 years late. And you know what is the regret of five? He only received 30 lakhs rupees when he retired. So your money, your wealth is half if you start late by 5 years. And if at times by taking no risk, see, we all feel that we want fixed returns, and I don't want to take any risk, and I don't want any volatility. I don't like the fluctuations. But trust me, if you don't beat inflation, the biggest risk is that there is no money only with you at times because of inflation. And if you are not beating inflation over a period of long term, that's the biggest risk which you are taking. And trust me, if you'll not take calculated risk and if you'll not start investing the way we are suggesting you, you will definitely find shortage of money at certain point of your life. So sometimes by not taking risk, we take the biggest risk. Please don't do that. And start investing your money today itself. If you invest 5,000 rupees per month, and if you get say 15% CAGR returns, for 30 years, if in a very disciplined way you started your SIP and you started investing, then you reach close to 3 crore at the time of retirement. So amount does matter. Remember one thing, that if your monthly expenditure today is say 25,000 rupees per month, and if you are retiring after say 20 years, with inflation, after 20 years, you may need say 50,000 rupees per month to maintain the same lifestyle of today. 50,000 rupees multiplied by 12, multiplied by 30 years. You remember you're going to live for another 30 years. in your retirement stage. So the amount which will come will be in crores of rupees. So that much amount you should aim for when you retire at the age of 60, and then opt for SWP option. Invest that money into any safe scheme like say liquid fund or debt fund, and then opt for SWP option, and that works wonderfully well for you like a pension. So every month automatically you are getting pension and you are meeting your lifestyle expenses with your own hard earned money which you invested for so many years. So when you are young, SIP works for you, and when you retire, SWP works for you, pension works for you wonderfully well. So this is how I wanted to teach you certain things. And always remember, there is nothing which is one size fits for all. So, your short term goals, your medium term goals, and your long term goals, you have to invest differently. Your mindset has to be different. And remember that what's your nature, you have to figure it out, you have to understand. So, there are three types of psychology or nature in every human being, and that is what decides what kind of asset allocation will fit you. So, investor psychology is a very important aspect which you yourself should find out that what kind of nature you have. So, if you are conservative, whether you are moderative, or whether you are aggressive. So, if you are conservative, the asset allocation differs. If you're moderate, then the asset allocation differs. And if you are aggressive, then you will have to invest in such products which has high potential to give you high returns. But at the same time, always remember, higher the risk, higher the returns, lower the risk, lower the returns, moderate the risk, moderate the returns. And this is how you should choose your asset allocation, which will really help you give good sustainable returns over a period of time, and you'll be always happy on your decisions and on your investments. So on that note, I finish my talk, but just to end it with a note that entire life we work hard for money, but let's create a phase in our life that money starts working hard for us. And money is not everything, but money is everything too. Because even medicines you can buy with the help of money, best doctor's treatment you can get with the help of money, and to a great extent, you can do a lot of social work, charity, you can make others happy, you can feel happy when you make others happy with the help of money. So, on that note, thank you very much, Shivani and Geti Talks, for inviting me. I'm more than happy to answer any of your questions from the audience. Thank you so much.
Yeah, well, thank you so much for being a part of Getty and telling us about such powerful things, the investment needed, how we can, uh, invest into different things, not only just, not just, not it being a woman, we can, or not with what, how we can, or how we can invest, how we can invest being a woman or being a man. It's just that simply how we can. I thank you so much. Here we have a comment for you from Atashi Das, who says, "Thank you so much. Indeed, this thank you is not just from this one particular being. It's from one. It's from all of us." And I
Also,
think,
Shivani, can I add one more thing, please?
sure, ma'am.
Uh, as our topic is today to shift the thought process. See, initially, our grandparents or our parents used to think very conservatively as far as investments were concerned. Their lifestyle was so simple, so easy. They were very easygoing people, right? And the interest rates during those time were so high. And today, if you see the returns on your investments, the interest rates are so low, and the standard of living, the aspirations, the kind of expenses which we have, I think we'll have to change the entire thought process about investing our money, spending our money. And if we don't do that, if we don't take the change, if we don't accept the paradigm shift, if we don't upgrade ourselves, I think it's going to be very, very depressing for many youngsters over a period of time. And looking at the uncertainty, looking at the pandemic situation like this, which we all have never seen before. Life is so unpredictable. So, all the more important that we have to come out of our comfort zone. We have to think something differently. We have to learn new things, talk to experts, have mentors in your life, and be very smart as far as your life and money is concerned. So that's the message which I would like to give to each one of you. And every institution, every college, every university, I would urge the entire education system that please add one subject on money management. Because whether you're an artist, whether you're a doctor, whether you're an engineer, I mean, your talent can take you to the top. Your hard work will give you a lot of power and lot of positions in your life. You will earn a lot of money, but if you don't know how to manage that money, it's going to be very, very troublesome. So finally, everyone is going to earn money, and those money skills, nobody's teaching you. Your base is very weak. I mean, when I talk to my children, they also don't know anything. They are teenagers. Fortunately, I continuously give them life skills, the real life stories, case studies, and they're learning from me. But every parent should do this for their children, especially the teenage children. And I request each and every parent that you discuss your problems also. Don't just be always goody goody, and don't just talk always the positive things or the good things about uh, with your children. Your children should definitely know the hardships, the how you're earning money, how sometimes your business is not working, how it is difficult for you at times, to earn money. So if you cultivate all these values in your children, uh, they will be a fantastic human being going forward. And empower every woman in your house. See, at times father is very liberal, and father really empowers and educates the girl child. But when it comes to wife, when it comes to the spouse, I think he takes her for granted. Please don't do this. Involve her in all your financial planning decisions. Everything she should know, and give her that status, even if she's a homemaker, and allow her. In fact, you should tell her that you handle the entire family's money, and you take the decisions. I mean, which husband will not like that wife is not talking about shopping or spending money, but wife is talking about investing and growing money, and creating wealth and uplifting the whole family with the help of money. So I think we all should definitely encourage each and every woman of our house, uh, uh, to come forward and learn and do financial planning, and talk about money, give her the freedom. I think that will work wonderfully well for the whole family. Shivani, you are unmuted, dear. Please, you're muted. You'll have to unmute yourself. Thank you.
Yes, ma. Thank you so much for being a part of Getty's disruptive education movement and being a of this part of you know thing disruptive education movement. I think I think you you did have you have kind you have been very beautifully part of, and I think I assume and I know everybody has been at the education part have.
Thank you, Shivani. At the end, just last thing which I would like to discuss and then end the show. All our support function, like our drivers, maids, security guards, means it is our duty that we should empower them, educate them. They also have the right of investing their money. See, any country which want to prosper will need two things to minimize the gap. One, education, and second is money. Basically, uh, your knowledge, your education, and how rich you are decides that you are more powerful or you are less powerful. So please give them a chance so that the equality exists and the overall nation also prospers. Teach them what kind of government schemes are there. Sukanya Samriddhi scheme for girl child education and girl child upliftment. There are so many insurance schemes, mediclaims, Atal Pension Yojana. There are so many yojanas which government continuously comes out with for the lower strata income group people, right from Janadhan Yojana, opening bank account, till micro SIP, etc. You must encourage all your support staff to do all these things so properly. When I talk to my maid, my cook, nobody wants their children to become the same what they are doing. So they all want their children to either become doctor, engineers, teachers, or they all want that they should lead a very good life with the help of education and in a very proper way. They have their aspirations too. So what they will need is some kind of guidance from you and some kind of help so that they can invest their money properly and that money can definitely help their children. Also, I have made a point that my cook, my maid, my driver also, everyone, the certain portion every month, 500,000 rupees, I have started investing for themselves from the salary. And if they also put in that much amount, I give them from my side just to encourage them and cultivate the habits of investments in them. So please, I request all of you to help your support function and bring them to me if you find it little difficult to explain them. My NGO does a lot of work for the lower strata income group people, and I'm extremely passionate to help them. So please come forward and do the needful. Do this much for themselves. Thank you so much.
Well, thank you so much, ma'am, for being a part of this disruptive education. You know, uh, I think everyone needs to, at the current times, I at the current times needs to
Let me tell you, Shivani, I think we can end the session here. Let me tell the audience that Shivani is not well and she's so committed to her work. And look at her. I told her, let's shift this program to some other day. But salute to you, Shivani, and I think you need rest and you please end this show. I love the dedication and I'm speechless looking at your discipline and the way you conducted the entire show. Please take rest and wish you all the best, Shivani. Take care.
Oh, well, thank you so much, ma'am, for being a part of our disruptive education movement, education part. And anyway, um,
Thank you. Bye bye. Take care.
thank you, ma'am, for being a part of,
Pleasure. My pleasure.
yeah, for being a part of disruptive education part of being a part of disruptive education education part of disruptive edu- for being a disruptive. Well, this is how we all can be a part of disruptive education part of education disruptive. Well, this is how we can be a part, and we can, you know, yeah, we can. So thank you once again, ma'am, for coming to our platform and being a part of disruptive education movement, education. I once again thank you all for being a disruptive education movement. Yeah, I address disruptive education part of disruptive education, a part of disruptive a disruptive education part of disruptive education movement. Yeah.